Thank you very much indeed for agreeing to have a little chat. What's it like being a student at Medwards College at Cambridge University?
Well, there's no point pretending that it's not. It's Cambridge, it's intense, but I've definitely had a positive experience thus far anyways. Yeah.
What do you like about it?
I'll just say that they get, especially my tutor anyway, gets pastoral care like bang on, welfare's perfect pretty much. Obviously there's always things to improve, but also I wouldn't say it's that competitive. Like, I get on very well with the other psychology students and we all help each other out with essay plans and talking about lab reports before they're due in. No one's like gatekeeping their work, and like we're all going to get through this degree together basically. So
some people might think, might have a certain view of what it's like to be at a women's college, and I know you have your lectures with men at the university, but can you say what it's like, and whether you feel I'm in an all women's institution and it's strange? What do you think about it?
In high school, it was an okay area of Leeds, but like a lot of the boys were quite, would I use the word rowdy? Like when I was in year 11, even like within like a couple of weeks before GCSEs, people were like throwing chairs at each other and compasses and like, I'm not saying boys at uni are going to be like that, but after being around them for a good, I don't know, about 15 years or so, it's a nice break, I guess you could say. And also, without Medwards and Newnham, I'm not sure that most courses or the entire university could say they'd had a decent split, especially in STEM subjects. So yeah.
So what would you say to somebody living in the north who's thinking about going to university, and they might think Cambridge is a long way away, I'll go to a more local university?
I thought right up until the beginning of year 13, I thought Leeds or Durham is going to be for me, because I thought people that go to Cambridge and Oxford, they've known since they were 5 and the entire family's been involved and it's set. But sometimes you just got to take a chance, and if your teachers think you can sit the entrance exam if you have an entrance exam, or just straight to the interview, or if you think you can do that, it's worth a shot, because at the end of the day the worst thing is a no. And imagine if you had the qualifications and the right persona to fit in, and then you just didn't apply, you'll never know.
So do you think coming to Cambridge gives you some opportunities you wouldn't have had elsewhere, both in terms of your education here and chances afterwards?
I think so, yeah, because I definitely, from an interesting financial background, shall we say. There's just my mum, and then even then she's been a teacher for 20 odd years, has just stepped back, now working in the prison service. I was clever enough to go to grammar schools, I think, but there was only one that was a very long way away, and then I did an entrance exam into a private school. They said they'd give me 90% bursary or something like that, still couldn't afford it. So like, it's just glad that I can be on the same page as everyone else at this point. Yeah.
So you just say what sort of school you went to and where you come from, and then what was that like coming here, because there aren't as many people from the north here.
So in year 7 I went to one school that was borderline about to be shut down, so then I moved to the school over the road, which was an academy. Since has taken the other school over, and so they're both on a decent level now. And then I went to the sixth form that was joint with that one. So a sixth form college like towards the city centre. I'd say there's about 1,500 to 2,000 students just purely doing A-levels and BTECs, etc. Yeah, I mean, decent sport, but it was kind of more recreational. There was no kind of anything beyond like a local level. I think I think my year group was definitely the first year group that they had a lot of people applying to Oxford. They'd had it in the past and people been rejected. But we were also really badly affected by the U-turn, because I was a U-turn year group, and I was it was one of the first times they put photography through, and they blanket graded us all a B, which obviously meant that I couldn't come until the U-turned the grades, even though I'd had several pieces of coursework that were A stars.
It's terrible.
So yeah.
So just say what city you're from and what sort of school you went to.
Yeah, Leeds. I went to a state school, state sixth form. Yeah.
And what do you think is good about the education at Cambridge?
I definitely say the smaller in group stuff, supervisions. It sounds like a stereotypical answer, but my friends that have gone from sixth form who were probably just as smart as I read some of their essays and some of the work they do now, and we both know that they could have written better essays when they were in sixth form, and so there's no one to kind of give them, you know, specific feedback and help towards their work before an exam. And it's intense, but I'd say I get like 15 essays or so a term. They've probably written 3 the entire academic year, so it's very different, but in a good way, even though it doesn't seem like it all the time.
And what's good about life? What do you like about life at Mary Edwards? Is it friendly? And what, you know, one of the things about when, like, I went to Manchester University, when I went were like thousands of people, and you had to, I mean, my best friend from school went and she was put in a dreadful bedsit in the middle of nowhere, and she was really quite lonely. So when you come here first, just say a little bit about where you live and how you live with other, you know, freshers. And
yeah. I think Michaelmas 2020 was interesting because we were freshers when everything was essentially locked down, but it was incredibly lucky the way we ended up. So we had one of the brand new kitchens, and so we were all sat together. I think the entire corridor got on, and I don't know, obviously people in other corridors will have had the odd 1 or 2 friends on the corridor, but literally the entire 6 or 7, 8, I don't even know how many, all got on. And I think half of us or even more lived together this year. So a very positive living experience, and made friends even when the entire world said that was impossible, basically. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much. Is there anything else you want to say or add? You don't have to, but just in case there's something you were thinking you wanted to say.
Everyone's kind of put off by the hill colleges because they're all so far away, but I honestly think like the bike rides and the walks and everything has been, I don't know why people wouldn't want that, to be honest, especially onto like rowing in the morning. It's very sunrise and all that sort of stuff, so yeah.
Great. Thank you very much indeed. That was terrific.